Hi class, I am going to show you how to use Desmos to put equations in. Some of you kept asking me and I kept showing you, and then I don't know if you were really there, you slept or walked away, whatever. So it's on the video, okay? So we're going to start with absolute value equations. And I know the equation says f of x, but I'm just going to put y equal because f of x really means y. So y equal. Now, for the absolute value, I need my keyboard, right? So I'm going to hit the keyboard. And then here's the absolute value right here. So if I want absolute value of x, just put in x. And you see I have the V shape, okay? If I want, let's see, absolute value, what was the next equation? Negative x minus 2. Then I'll put my x minus 2 inside the bars, but I'll have a negative on the outside of the bars, okay? And then it was your job to see that the parent graph, the bottom of the V is at 0. But then the new graph, the bottom of the V moved over to the right 2 spaces. And it also flipped upside down, but pay more attention to where it moved. So it moved over to the right two spaces. And that's what that 2 did. The number with the X makes your graph move left or right, and it's always the opposite sign. I'll just do one more. I'm not going to do all of them. So x minus 3 plus, x minus 4 plus 3. So y equal keyboard, absolute value. I want x minus 4. Then I'm going to click on the outside of the bars, and I'm going to put plus 3. So notice that here go mama graph, and the bottom of the V is at 0. But this new graph, it moved to the right 4 and up 3. See that? So the number with the X determines which way your graph moves, left or right. Minus 4 is to the right. If it said plus 4, it would have been to the left. Number outside of the bars tells you how much it moves up or down. So that plus 3 made the V go up 3 right there. Okay? All right. Next, let's see. Okay, these graphs right here, you guys were struggling with the cube root. It's called a cube root. It's not a square root. Okay? The little 3 inside of the check makes it a cube root. So some of you were struggling. So, again, you want to bring up your keyboard, but there is no cube root in the regular keyboard, so we go to functions. And when you bring up functions, it takes you to trig, but you want miscellaneous over here. Click miscellaneous, and right there, see the little check with the N inside it? That's what we want. So I'm going to click it. So now I'm right here. So see how the cursor is blinking inside of the check? I could put a 3 right there, and that's for the cube root. And then inside of it, I'll put the X. And so here's my function. So it's like a little swirl from left to right, and the swirl changes directions at 0, 0. It's like, I'm a swirl, let me go the other way now, pew, okay? So I'll graph another one with you. So another equation is, I'll do this bottom one, cube root of x minus 1 plus 4. So again, cube root, I want keyboard, functions, miscellaneous, then check with the N, put a little 3. And then it was x minus 1. So in here, I'm going to put x minus 1. Then I'm going to click outside of there so that I can have my plus 4 on the outside. So now you see it's the same swirl except it moved. So how do you determine where it moved? Well, look at where the curve changed directions in the mother graph. It changed directions at 0, 0. In our new graph, the curve changes directions right here at 1, 4. because the curve moved to the right 1 and then up 4. Notice the 1 and the 4 in the equation. So that plus 4 tells you how much it moved up. So it moved up 4 spaces. And then the number with the X underneath the radical sign tells you how much it moves left or right. So minus 1 means it went to the right 1. If it had said plus 1, if it had said X plus 1, it would have went to the left. Okay? So that's the cube root function. Okay. To the third power, I think you guys know this one, but I'm going to show you anyway to make sure. So if I want X to the third power, I'm going to type X. I'm going to bring up my keyboard. And I don't want to the second power. So if you want a different power, you want that A with the tiny b. So once I hit that, it gave me a cursor up at the top. See that? So that's X to the third power. So it kind of looks like this word we saw with the cube root, except instead of going this way from left to right, it starts at the top and goes to the bottom. But again, it changes directions at 0, 0. So I'm going to try this next equation, 2 parentheses x minus 2 to the third power plus 1. Y equals 2 parentheses x minus 2 close parenthesis. I want to the third power, so I'll bring up my keyboard, and I want the AB, so I could type a little 3 right there. And then I move my cursor over, and then it said, what was it? Plus 1. Plus 1. Wow. So let's look at the graph. So now we see that the mother graph, it changed directions at 0, 0. Our new graph, the curve changed directions right here. So the curve went to the right 2 and up 1. And I want you to notice the pattern in the equation. So that plus 1 lets you know that mother graph moves up 1 space. X minus 2 tells you it's going to go to the right 2 spaces. Wow. And let's see, you don't need me to show you linear functions. And to the second power, that should be easy because that's in the keyboard. To the second power is easy. Y equals, if I want X to the second power, I just hit a square right here, A squared, pow. That's it. The next one said X squared minus 3. So I'll do Y equals X, keyboard, I want second power, minus 3, like that. Now the pattern, see that minus 3? It made mama graph go down 3. See that? The green one is mama graph, and then the new one is this one here, and it went down 3. Excuse me. Square root, that one should be pretty easy. So for square root, y equal, and square root is right here. I bring up my keyboard, and I click the square root, and I put an X right there. The square root graph looks like a half a U, like a half a parabola, but it's sideways, okay? So I'll do one more with you. So square root X minus 3, so Y equals, keyboard, square root X. I'm gonna click on the outside so I can put minus 3. So notice what happened. If you take mama graph and move it down 3, you get the new graph. That's what that minus 3 did. What if the number was inside the square root? What if it was y equal square root x? And what if minus 3 was inside? When it's x minus 3 inside the square root, that means it went to the right 3, okay? On the outside of the square root, it went down 3. But on the inside of the square root, it goes to the right. What if it was a plus instead of a minus 3? Y equal square root x plus 3. See the difference? So x plus 3 made it move left 3. For x minus 3, it went to the right 3. See the difference? The green one is x plus 3. The blue one is x minus 3. The black one is the mother. It's at 0, 0. I think that's all of them. Yep, that's it. So I hope this helps. And if you have questions, please message me. Give me some feedback on whether or not you found this helpful.